If you died tomorrow, would your family be okay? Because 42% of Canadians don't have life insurance, and that's a big problem. Hey, I'm Jessica, qualified associate financial planner and best-selling author of Everything But Money. And I want to make sure you, your family, and your money are protected. Because it honestly breaks my heart when I see someone have to set up a GoFundMe page because their partner died, and there's no money saved up to pay for funeral expenses or to financially support the family now that they're gone. And there's a really simple solution for this. Life insurance. And it's really not as expensive as you may think. A 20-year term life insurance policy with almost $1 million in coverage can cost as little as $60 per month with a provider like PolicyMe, which is a provider that I use for my life insurance. Now, if you're curious about them, I've got an affiliate link in the description that often includes special promotions and discounts. So in this video, I'm going to show you how much life insurance is enough for you to protect your wealth and your family. I've also got a free calculator below you can download to follow along. But first, what exactly is life insurance and how does it work? Well, when you buy a life insurance policy, you are effectively buying insurance on your life. So if you die, your beneficiaries, like your spouse or children, will get a lump sum payout that's completely tax-free and avoids probate. But you can also buy a policy on someone else's life too and have yourself be the beneficiary. For example, many parents buy policies insuring the lives of their kids. Now, this money can then be used to pay for funeral costs, remaining debts, and taxes owed. But it can also help bridge the gap that is created by your loss of income. For example, what if you're the breadwinner in your family and your spouse is a stay-at-home parent? Well, that money could help them continue to pay for things like the mortgage, bills, groceries, and other necessities for a period of time until they can find work again and start earning an income to support the family on their own. Honestly, I'll never forget the story that Keisha Blair, author of Holistic Wealth, shared with me on my podcast, The More Money Podcast, a few years ago. She just had her baby with her husband, and then he started to complain that, he didn't feel so well. He thought he should go see a doctor. Out of precaution, he went to the emergency room. 3 hours later, after he was admitted, Keisha left the hospital alone with a plastic bag full of his belongings because he'd sadly passed away from a rare tumor that had gone undetected for years. Now, although this sudden turn of events was devastating for Keisha, she said that the one saving grace was that they had gotten life insurance on both of their lives just a few months prior. That money not only allowed her to pay for the funeral and stay afloat with their bills, but it also allowed her to take some unpaid time off work to properly grieve and figure out the next steps for her family. Now that you know why life insurance is so important, you may be wondering, well, how much do I need? You don't want to be underinsured because that means you won't be properly protected, but you also don't want to be overinsured and pay for more insurance than you actually need. So let me walk you through how to do a life insurance needs analysis. This will help you determine the appropriate amount of life insurance for you, and it's really simple to do, I promise. Now, before we get started, just a note about group life insurance that you may have through your employer. Although it's great to have coverage through work, who doesn't love that, it's important to remember that if you ever leave that employer or get fired or laid off, your coverage ends too. That's why it's generally advisable to get your own policy outside of work privately, so you're covered no matter what happens with your job. Not only that, in most cases, whatever you have through work, it's likely not nearly enough coverage. So even if you stay with that employer for decades to come, you'd likely still want to top it up with your own coverage. Okay, so let's use the example of Mike and Jen, a couple who have 2 kids aged 8 and 10. Jen wants to get a life insurance policy on Mike's life in which she's the beneficiary. So if Mike dies, she gets a life insurance payout, which is, again, completely tax-free and avoids probate. Now, the first thing Jen is going to want coverage for is income replacement for a set number of years. For example, if Mike dies, that means Jen will go from 2 incomes to 1 and will thus need some extra money to supplement the lack of Mike's income to continue paying the family expenses. To follow along with me, make sure to download my free life insurance needs analysis calculator so you can do this calculation yourself. Link in the description of this video, or it's also accessible inside my free resource library, also linked below. Okay, so first we need to determine Mike and Jen's monthly expenses, which equals $7,000 per month. Next, we need to determine both of their after-tax incomes. Mike earns $5,000 per month and Jen earns $4,000 per month after taxes. That's a combined after-tax income of $9,000. Now, another thing to factor in is if Mike died, would any of the monthly expenses decrease? For example, if he had any memberships or any other personal expenses that would cease upon his death, you would deduct those from the monthly expense amount. Now, let's assume that the monthly expenses would be reduced by $500 per month, making them now $6,500 per month in total. Next, you'd want to calculate if the income Jen earned would decrease in any way too. For example, maybe she'd have to reduce her hours at work to allow for more more time for childcare. Let's say she goes from working 5 days per week to 4, and her income is reduced from $4,000 per month to $3,200 per month. So as a widow, Jen's family expenses would equal $6,500 per month, and she'd be bringing in $3,200 per month as income, leaving a $3,300 per month shortfall. Assuming her expenses don't change throughout the years and she only wants coverage up until her youngest child, who is currently 8 years old, turns 25, that means Jen would want coverage for the next 17 years to help her bridge the income gap. Now, the final piece of information to figure out is the discount rate for the calculation. I know that sounds scary, but I promise it's very simple. You see, when Jen receives the insurance policy's payout, she's not going to put that money in a savings account. She needs that money to last 17 years, and with inflation and low interest rates on savings accounts, it just doesn't make sense to keep that lump sum in cash. Instead, she's going to invest that money so it can grow. She'd also want to factor in any taxes she'd owe on any income and growth that lump sum earns while it's invested, assuming it will be put inside a taxable investment account. So let's say she invests the money for 17 years and it earns a rate of return of 6% minus 2% inflation and minus 25% for taxes. Here's what that would look like. First, you'd want to find out the after-tax return, then the after-inflation return, also known as the real rate of return. So here's what you would do. You would take 6, minus it by 25%, and that would get you to 4.5%, your after-tax return. Then deduct 2% for inflation to get to 2.5% as your real rate of return. Now for the fun part, let's do our time value of money calculation. If you want to learn how to do this on your financial calculator, watch this video I made all about the time value of money. Otherwise, use the link to an online calculator that does this exactly in the spreadsheet that you can download. Now, after inputting all of the data, we get to the big number of $549,197.20. This is how much coverage Jen would need to replace Mike's income. Now, we could stop there, but remember, this amount is only going to serve as an income replacement. If Jen wanted insurance to also cover things like funeral expenses, funding her kids' future post-secondary education, paying off the mortgage, and just having some money set aside so she can take some unpaid time off work, then she could add that amount on top of this. So let's assume Mike's funeral will cost $10,000, and Jen wants $40,000 to fund both her kids' education. She also has a mortgage with a balance of $300,000 left on it, and she'd like to pay that off, and she wants to take 2 months off work for her bereavement, so that'd be $4,000 times 2 for $8,000. So she'd want to add $358,000 of coverage to her policy. That would bring her total coverage to $907,197.20. Or we would just round that up to $950,000 to be safe. Now that wasn't so hard, was it? But now I bet you're asking yourself, well, how much is this going to cost me? Now, using PolicyMe as an example, as you can see, a 20-year term for $950,000 of coverage would cost you around $65.15 every month. Now, I know that may sound like a lot depending on your affordability, but I would argue, can you afford not to have life insurance if something happened? Now, to get your own quote from PolicyMe, use my affiliate link in the description, as there are sometimes some special promotions and discounts. And again, if you are concerned about affordability, I would just take a good look at one of my budget spreadsheets that you can also download. They're in my YouTube store. This will help you get a good sense of what is money coming in, going out, and is there a way that we can maybe reduce spending in one category to free up about $60 per month to afford life insurance. Well, I hope you found this video helpful, but let me know if you have any questions at all about life insurance in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.